Welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive?
Always up for an adventure.
Today, we're tackling a topic that's close to, well, everyone's stomachs. The future of farming.
Yeah, food. It's pretty essential, right?
Couldn't agree more. And luckily, we've got some fascinating sources to dig into. We'll be exploring the rise of cutting-edge technology in agriculture, the challenges of bringing young people into the field, and the growing popularity of organic practices.
It's an interesting time to be talking about farming because we're at this really unique crossroads.
Yeah, totally. Like on one hand, we have this deep-rooted history of farming practices, and then on the other, you've got these futuristic technologies emerging. It's kind of a wild combination.
Right. So, to kick things off, let's dive into that tech side of things. Our sources mention stuff like AI-powered sensors, agricultural robots, and even drones.
Okay, yeah, that sounds straight out of a sci-fi movie. But seriously, what are these technologies actually doing for farmers?
So imagine this. You're a farmer, and you've got a field full of crops. Now, instead of manually checking each plant for disease or pests, you have these tiny sensors in the soil that can detect the very first signs of trouble.
Whoa, so you're catching problems before they even really start.
Exactly. And that early detection allows you to target treatment only where it's needed, which means you're using fewer chemicals and protecting the environment. Plus, it can save you a ton of time and money.
That's pretty incredible. It sounds like technology is really giving farmers a leg up.
It is, and there's so much more. Like, think about drones. Farmers are using them to map their fields, monitor crop health, and even apply fertilizers and pesticides with pinpoint accuracy.
Okay, so now we're talking flying robots. I mean, that's next level stuff.
It is, but with all this talk about technology, we can't forget about the people behind it all.
Right. And that brings us to another big theme from our sources. The challenge of attracting young people to agriculture. There's this concern about an aging farmer population.
Yeah, and that's a real problem. It seems like many young people just don't see farming as a viable or appealing career path.
Yeah, I can see that. It's maybe seen as kind of I don't know, old-fashioned or something.
Exactly. There's this perception of farming as being very labor-intensive, low-tech, and not very financially rewarding.
Right. But it sounds like that perception is, well, pretty outdated given all this technology we've been talking about.
Definitely. I mean, today's farmers are using cutting-edge tech to optimize their yields, manage their resources, and even market their products. It's a far cry from the image of a farmer toiling away in the fields with just a hoe and a plow.
I guess it's all about changing that narrative, right? Showing young people that farming can be innovative and exciting.
Absolutely. And that's where technology can play a big role. Like, imagine being a young person who loves tech and also cares about sustainability. Well, guess what? Modern agriculture needs you.
There you go. Saving the planet and using cool gadgets, that's a pretty good combo.
It is. But even with all the excitement around tech, there's also this growing movement towards more traditional practices, like organic farming.
Yeah, our sources definitely highlighted that. It seems like organic is everywhere these days. Why do you think it's become so popular?
Well, there are a few reasons. For one, consumers are becoming much more aware of what they're eating and where their food comes from.
Yeah, like the whole farm-to-table movement and all that.
Exactly. People want to know that their food is healthy, safe, and produced in a way that's good for the environment. And organic farming often aligns with those values.
Makes sense. But there's also been some debate about whether organic can really scale up to meet the needs of a growing population.
Right. Some argue that organic methods are just too labor intensive and result in lower yields compared to conventional farming. And to be fair, there are some legitimate challenges there.
So it sounds like a tricky balance between, sustainability and productivity.
It is. But despite those challenges, there's also a ton of innovation happening in the organic world. And as consumer demand continues to rise, we're seeing more farmers adopting these practices and finding ways to make them more efficient.
So do you think we'll eventually reach a point where organic is just the norm, like the way most food is produced?
That's hard to say for sure, but one thing's for certain. The future of farming is going to involve a lot of creativity and experimentation. We'll need to find ways to combine the best of both worlds, like using technology to make organic more efficient or finding sustainable ways to boost yields in conventional farming.
So we're talking about a future where tech and tradition work together to create a more sustainable and equitable food system.
Exactly. It's all about finding solutions that work for both people and the planet.
That's awesome. And hey, maybe that's where the next generation of farmers comes in.
Yeah.
Imagine young people using their tech skills to revolutionize organic farming.
Now that's a vision for the future I can get behind.
Mine too. Well, this deep dive has definitely opened my eyes to the incredible possibilities in the world of agriculture. It's clear that the future of food is going to be shaped by a fascinating blend of technology, tradition, and a whole lot of innovation.
And who knows what amazing breakthroughs are just around the corner.
I can't wait to find out. And for all of you listening, I encourage you to keep exploring this topic. There's a ton of information out there, and this conversation is just the beginning.
What role do you think technology, education, and consumer choices will play in shaping the future of food?
Great question. How can you be a part of this change? We'd love to hear your thoughts.
And until next time, happy exploring.
See you all in the next Deep Dive.